What a ridiculous way to lose a baseball game. Roansy Contreras comes in for the save opportunity, and he doesn't even get an out. Back-to-back home runs to blow the save and then blow the game as the Angels let this one slip away in ridiculous, shocking fashion. We'll talk about the loss on tonight's edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast right now.
You are Locked On Angels Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Los Angeles, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. Hello, Postcast people. I can't even keep a straight face, man. It's unbelievable. Hello, Halo Nation. Hello, Halo hopefuls. Hello, Postcast people. Welcome to the latest edition. Oh, man, a painful edition of the Locked On Angels Postcast, coming at you live, as always, on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel and after the fact, wherever you get the Locked On Angels podcast feed. I'm Gavin Carlson, and I am in so much pain. I used to be a credentialed journalist in the LA area. I'm now a part of the Locked On Podcast Network, and I'm an Angels fan, and so are you all. And man, oh man, does that stink in 2024. This goes down as one of the most painful, most ridiculous, most hilarious, if you look at it in that way, most heartbreaking, if you still invest your heart and emotion into this team, losses of the year. I mean, my goodness. You didn't even get an out, Roansy Contreras. We'll talk about all of it. Why wasn't Ben Joyce pitching the ninth? Why in the world does Roansy Contreras, give up back-to-back home runs to lead off the ninth inning? He gave up 3 home runs because the pitch before the walk-off was also a home run, but just a little bit foul. I mean, you can't make this one up. This goes down as one of the most ridiculous losses I've seen in a while. And it wasn't like the Angels played a phenomenal game, but there were some bright spots. Joe Adell had a great swing. Jack Kochanowicz showed some promise. It was going to be one of those games where Gavin's good, bad, and ugly was going to have an equal amount of goods and bads, not really any uglies, and above all else, a win would have been great. But no, instead, boy, do we get an ugly to end this game and to make it 2 straight losses to open up the series. The Angels are now 21 games under 500, and the road to avoiding 100 losses is still looking like a journey and not a sure thing. Before we jump into this one, where we'll talk about Kochanowicz, we'll talk about the offense, and of course, we'll talk about the blown save. Before we do, quick shout out to the sponsor of today's postcast. It's SupplyHouse. It's the reliable SupplyHouse.com. Okay, let's start that over. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to get parts fast. Shop for your next plumbing, h-vac, or electrical job and get fast shipping from coast to coast at SupplyHouse.com. Shout out to everybody in here. You guys are saints for so many reasons. For coming in here and listening to me talk every day, for always being here, for always leaving your comments, but above all else, for being an Angels fan. Because today is one of those days where you are reminded that that is not a fun experience. It's a chore. It takes years off our life. I mean, oh man, let's just jump right into it. The Angels only scored, in 1 inning today. It was kind of one of those typical Angels performances. You have 1 big inning, but man, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. So, sometimes we lose a game like this and I'm fired up. Sometimes we lose a game like this and I'm not surprised. Sometimes we lose a game like this and I'm bummed. This is one of those games where I am just bewildered. I'm shocked. That's why I'm half giggling, half rolling my eyes, half raising my voice. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable how this game transpires. And we have to start not in the bottom of the ninth. We have to start in the bottom of the 8th because Ron Washington elects to bring Ben Joyce in the bottom of the 8th. Now, in the bottom of the 7th, we have all sorts of pitching changes. Jack Kochanowicz pitches a solid game, gives up 3 runs through 6 innings, has a rough 6th inning where he gives up another run to make it 4-3, but you still got a lead. I like Ron Washington giving Kochanowicz a chance to come in the 7th. This is one of the better starts of his young career. We'll get into his start later because I thought there was some promise there. That's all you want to see. He elects to go Hunter Strickland after a leadoff double from Joey Loperfido against Kochanowicz. I'm fine with that. That makes sense. Give Kochanowicz the opportunity. If he doesn't come through, you make the switch. He gives up a leadoff double, you make the switch. Hunter Strickland comes in. He gets Barger to line out. The ball was not hit crazy hard. 90 exit velo, whatever. Then he walks Baroa. I don't even know how to say it, I'll be honest. But he walks Baroa, first and second, 1 out, and he gets a George Springer pop-up. So 2 outs. Dalton Varsho up to bat. First and second, 2 outs. And Ron elects to go Jose Quijada. Once again, this is me. I'm getting prepared on this postcast to say, man, I really like the decisions Ron Washington made today regarding the pitching. Gave Kochanowicz a reasonable length leash, goes to Strickland, then goes to Quijada to get the biggest out of the game. 2 on, 2 out, 1-run game, lefty coming up, bring in a lefty. Bring in Jose Quijada, who has been pretty darn good since he's come back from injury. Quijada comes in, and he does just that. Gets a strikeout on Varsho. You get it to the 8th inning. Great job. Great job, Quijada. Great job, Strickland, for the most part. Great job, Ron Washington. Top of the 8th comes up. The Angels are hitting, and we hear Ben Joyce is in the bullpen. He's getting warmed up in the top of the 8th. Interesting. Now, I'm listening to the radio broadcast. That's what I do. And they say, oh, this kind of makes sense. Ben Joyce is pitching because Horwitz leads off the 8th for the Blue Jays. He's a lefty. So you let Quijada pitch against Horwitz. And then when Alejandro Kirk comes up to bat, he's a righty. Then you bring in Ben Joyce. That makes sense. Give Ben Joyce the 5-out save. He's done it before. But hey, get the first out. It's a lefty on lefty. That makes sense. Or heck, maybe Quijada just pitches the 8th and they're just getting Ben Joyce ready because the 3rd hitter is also a lefty in Will Wagner. So maybe the logic is 2 lefties in the first 3 hitters in the 8th inning for the Blue Jays. Okay, Quijada, lefty, pitch against Horwitz. You got the righty in Kirk, but then you got another lefty in Will Wagner who's been killing the Angels recently. Okay. And then if, it's not a 1-2-3 inning, and then Ernie Clement comes up in this 8th inning, then you bring Ben Joyce in for a 4-out save or 5-out save, depending on how Quijada did. Okay, makes sense. But no, Ron Washington says, we're going to put Ben Joyce in right away in the 8th. I'm thinking, wow, okay, pretty bold. I guess Ron, even then I'm going, okay, I kind of respect it, Ron. He's not messing around. He knows this team rarely has games like this where it's 4-3 in the 8th inning. The Angels rarely have games like this where it's close, where maybe you just put your best pitcher in earlier than people would expect, and you say, Ben Joyce, you're young. Your arm's got plenty of life left. Go get 6 outs. Go get a 6-out save. I'm like, okay, Ron. Okay. I kind of like that. Aggressive. Knowing that maybe he won't admit it, but he doesn't want 100 losses. He thinks like us to some degree. This is the rare opportunity to get a win. Let's go get it. Ben Joyce is your best pitcher in the bullpen. One of your best pitchers overall. Go get 6 outs. Love it. Wait, what? Wait, what happened? Wait. Contreras is coming in the 9th? What? Ben Joyce does his job in the 8th inning. Strikeout, gives up a single to Kirk, but then gets Wagner and Clement. Great job, Ben Joyce. Time for the bottom of the 9th because the Angels didn't do anything in the 8th. Okay. Ben Joyce, get a 6-out save. No. Roansy Contreras is coming in. What? Why? Suddenly this goes from, okay, the Angels are being really aggressive trying to win this game by trusting Ben Joyce for 2 innings to, wait, Roansy Contreras is your closer? You're telling me we've done all this hyping up of Ben Joyce to be the closer for the next 10 years, all for Roansy Contreras to come in the 9th inning in the rare winning, saving opportunity? And I am not a Monday morning quarterback. If Contreras gets this save, I still bring up the fact that it didn't make sense to me. And I say, okay, I guess Contreras proves us wrong. He gets the job done. Interesting pitching decision, but I guess it works. But what I'm about to say is not because of how it did not go or how it went and how it went poorly. You just heard me lay it all out. That's my thought process throughout the end of this game. It made no sense the whole time. And so then when Contreras responds with back-to-back home runs, this guy comes in to save the game. And in one at-bat, the save is gone. And in two at-bats, the game is over. And not even a single and then a home run. Oh, okay, maybe it's unlucky. Not even, oh, okay, Loperfito's home run. Sure, it was on 2-1. It wasn't even a terrible pitch. Fastball at the knees. Oh, I guess that's a good piece of hitting. But then it's a full count, and you throw a changeup at the knees, but a little bit higher than you'd like. Not to mention, the pitch before that was a meatball down the middle that was crushed. Should have been the walk-off home run there, but was hit foul. So, Contreras, you don't get any sympathy from me. And Ron Washington, you don't get no sympathy from me. Anybody who follows this team knows Ben Joyce is the closer of the future. If Ron Washington brings in Contreras in the 8th inning and Contreras blows it and this game was tied going into the 9th, okay, whatever. But how in the world does your future closer, your best closer now, and your best closer in 5 years, in Ben Joyce, not get the save opportunity? The rare time you have an opportunity to have a save. Makes no sense. And so, Ron Washington, unfortunately, you know I'm a fan of you. You know I've defended you for the most part. This one is on you. It's a head-scratching decision, and boy, this will become a whole lot more head-scratching when it plays out the way it did. It doesn't get any worse than that, Roansy Contreras. Not a couple base hits. Not, oh, Contreras gives up 3 straight hits and then we go to another bullpen arm. No, how about before you can even think, he's given up 2 home runs, including an absolute bomb from Barger. 439 feet. He did 109.6 off the bat, a pitch after he hit a home run but foul. This guy was getting destroyed. This guy being Roansy Contreras the whole inning, and he only faced 2 guys, and yet he got owned by both of those guys. One of the losses of the year, because managerially it made no sense. Player performance-wise, it makes no sense. For the win now scenario, it makes no sense. For the win in the future scenario, it made no sense. One of the losses of the year, honestly. Because, I mean, at this point, you're just trying not to get swept by teams so that you can avoid 100 losses. And with every loss that comes, the concern of having 100 losses continues. It's just so frustrating. We'll talk about more of it after our first break here. We still got to get into the Kochanowicz start because it was going to be maybe the A story, a positive start from Kochanowicz in what ended up being a win, but no. Oh, Joe Adell, a nice swing. Oh, a nice 4-run inning, but no. We'll talk about it after our first break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. Today's show is brought to you by the one and only Liquid IV. Boy, I wish Roansy Contreras had some Liquid IV in his system. Why? Because Liquid IV, it's amazing. It's scientifically formulated to quickly replenish electrolytes and fluids lost from sweat or exercise. It's 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, plus 8 vitamins and nutrients, all in a single stick. When you're taking in America's pastime, hopefully it's not the Angels at this point, don't forget to hydrate with Liquid IV's Popsicle Firecracker flavor, a surefire summer hit. You get hydrated with electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients from the #1 powdered hydration brand in America, because baseball and summer go together like Liquid IV and indulgent hydration. Tear, pour, live more, 1 stick plus 16 ounces of water. Hydrates better than water alone. Trust me, I use it every day, whether I'm at the gym, whether I'm on a run, whether I'm just sweating a lot. It's the way to go. It's powered by LIV Hydroscience, an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. 3 times the electrolytes of the leading sports drink, 8 essential vitamins, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. So, no more thirsty summers when you indulge in hydration with Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code MLB at checkout. That's 20% off your first order when you shop Better Hydration today using promo code MLB at liquidiv.com. And today's show is also once again brought to you by SupplyHouse. Get supplies from the site that's made for the skilled trades, SupplyHouse.com. SupplyHouse.com is the reliable way to order plumbing, HVAC, electrical supplies, or electrical products, online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Shop a complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from over 400 top brands and get your order delivered right to your door with fast shipping from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Get expert support and industry-leading service from the friendliest folks in the business and talk to a real person every time. Pros in the skilled trades can get a competitive edge by joining SupplyHouse.com's free Trade Master program. Every Trade Master gets access to a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Join the thousands of trade pros already benefiting from their free membership at SupplyHouse.com/TM and order plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies from anywhere with just a few clicks at SupplyHouse.com. Back here live on the Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. What a day. And not in a good way, folks. What a shocking, embarrassing, ridiculous, but fitting loss for the Angels as a 4-0 lead somehow becomes a 5-4 loss. Thanks to two back-to-back home runs in the top of the ninth, or the bottom of the ninth, because not Ben Joyce, Roansy Contreras comes out for the save, and boy, does he have maybe one of the worst save attempts I've ever seen. It doesn't get any worse than not even getting it out. Man, it's unbelievable. The reason that this game was, the reason the Angels even had a save opportunity was because Jack Kochanowicz was real good in this one. At least I thought. Stat-wise, solid. 6 innings pitched. He gave up 7 hits, but no walks. I would much rather see 7, 8, even 9 hits if there isn't a walk. If you only give up 3 runs in 6 innings for a guy whose ERA used to be all the way up here. If you're listening and not watching, I pointed real high, okay? His ERA used to be way up there. And he has strung together a couple solid starts now in a row. His ERA in the month of August is 3.2. That's pretty solid. His ERA in the month of July, albeit just 2 starts to make his MLB debuts, but his ERA was 14.14. All right. His debut against the Mariners, 3 innings, 7 hits, 5 runs, 4 of them earned. He had 2 hit batters, a home run, and only 1 strikeout. Then against the A's, 4 innings, 7 earned runs, a home run, 3 walks, 7 hits. But against the Nats on August 11th, how about 7 2/3 innings pitched, 6 hits, just 2 earned runs on a home run and a walk? Against the Braves, a good team, 6 innings, 7 hits, 2 earned runs, a home run, a hit batter, 3 walks, an intentional walk, no strikeouts. So a kind of crazy game. But still, the ERA is still going down. And then today, 6 innings, like I said, 7 hits, 3 earned runs, no walks. Clearly, he's not a strikeout guy. Through 5 career starts, he now has 8 strikeouts. But that's okay. The ERA is going down. And above all else, the eye test looks like, he's passing it a little bit more than at the beginning. The pitch repertoire is okay. He throws a decent sinker. You know how much I like a guy who throws a decent sinker. He faced adversity multiple times in this game, and he really only had 1 poor inning. Gives up 2 runs in the bottom of the 4th on just a bunch of hits, let's be honest. Leadoff single from Dalton Varsho. Spencer Horwitz has a double at 2nd and 3rd, but even the first RBI is on a ground out when you're up 4-0. You're up 4-0 at 2nd and 3rd with no outs. Could easily give up a 3-1 home run, but okay, forces a ground out to give up a run. That's okay. Then he gets a Will Wagner ground out. Nice. 2 outs, guy on 3rd. If you get Ernie Clement out, I am giving you all sorts of credit that you only give up 1 run in this, jam of an inning. But he does give up another single to Ernie Clement. It's 4-2. Still, after that, he gets Loperfido to ground out. Okay, you give up a 2-run bottom of the 4th. But when you have a 4-0 lead, when you are a young pitcher who's still just making his 5th career start ever, I'm okay with that. A 1-2-3 5th. Bottom of the 6th, he gives up 1 more run. Doesn't help that Nolan Shanuel makes an error. You give up a leadoff single to Varsho, then Spencer Horwitz reaches on a fielding error. So what should be an out, maybe 2, is now 1st and 2nd with nobody out. Then Kirk singles, game is tied. But still, even then, look at the resilience. It's still 1st and 2nd with no out. The 4-0 lead is now 4-3. The tying run is on second base. What does he do? He throws a nice sinker. He throws a nice sinker. 3 sinkers in this at bat. 1, 2, 3, and the third one hit by Will Wagner for a double play. And then what does he do? He throws 2 more sinkers and gets a ground out from Ernie Clement. He realized, like a Jose Soriano, like Ben Joyce, man, just throw that sinker, man. Even if it's over the plate, decent chance it's a ground ball. He gets back-to-back ground balls, 1 for a double play to get him out of the 6th inning. Great job. Great job. Gives up a leadoff double in the 2nd, unfortunately. But I am still very proud of the start from Jack Kochanowicz. All right? So it's unfortunate that he doesn't pick up a win with this one because I thought he deserved it. I thought it was certainly a good enough start to earn the win. The good news for him is no one really cares, right? Like, about the wins and losses, like in terms of on his record. He's so new, he's so young, he's so inexperienced. It's about the eye test. It's not even about the stats in terms of hits and walks and runs and ERA. It's about the eye test. It's about, okay, is there promise? Is there something in the future we could see with him? And I'll be honest, after those first 2 starts, we're thinking, oh man, at the very least, this guy isn't ready, but he might not have a future. Now I'm thinking, okay, if you told me that there's a world where Jack Kochanowicz is our 5th starter next year, I'm like, okay, maybe in that world, he closed out 2024 really well and earned that 5th spot in the rotation. In that case, I will take it. Like a Jose Soriano, maybe there's some upside there. He's not throwing a 97-mile-an-hour sinker like Ben Joyce, but he's throwing a 95-mile-an-hour sinker. He's big, he's tall, he's strong, he throws hard, and he's shown some resilience these last couple of starts. Maybe there's something there. So certainly a bright spot. And after the break, we'll get to Gavin's good, bad, and ugly, but a sneak peek, that is the good. All right, undoubtedly, Jack Kochanowicz, the good in this game because he was pretty darn good. You got to give him his credit. And it's the lone bright spot. It's one of those things where if the Angels lost this game 5-4, but maybe the runs came in the 7th and 8th inning for the Blue Jays, I wouldn't be as livid. I'd just be like, it's another Angels loss, and at least Kochanowicz pitched well. But because of the way we lost, this still becomes a net negative by far. After our last break here, we'll talk about Gavin's good, bad, and ugly outside of Kochanowicz and Contreras. Who in the Angels lineup played well? Who in the Angels lineup continue to struggle? And do we have any hope in the rest of this series and the rest of the season? Are we going to get to 100 losses? We'll talk about all that and get to your comments after our last break here on the Locked On Angels Postcast. We'll be right back. Finally, today's show is brought to you by TonaI. For those of us who thrive on getting stuff done, including workouts, like myself, every minute counts. That's why you need TonaI, the smart strength training system that takes the guesswork out of working out, so you can make sure you're making the most of every rep. When life gets busy, fitting in a workout can be stressful. With TonaI, you can get efficient workouts personalized just for you, and they're available with the amount of time you have. Even the most dedicated gym goers struggle with consistency, the commute, waiting for weights, other people's sweat. It makes skipping a workout very tempting. But with TonaI, you can choose from thousands of workouts and train in a way you actually enjoy at home. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. You know, I like to fill you in on how my life is going, especially when it's a lot more entertaining maybe than talking about the Angels. I'm apartment hunting right now. I'm in Westwood. I'm subletting, but I'm about to move into a full year lease in LA. I got a job. I'm staying in LA, full-time job outside of Locked On. And so I needed a place. And so I'm as we speak, I saw an apartment today. I saw some yesterday. I'm seeing some tomorrow and Sunday. As someone who goes to the gym every day, who's also training for a half marathon, part of my, the things I'm considering while I'm looking for an apartment is what's the commute to the gyms? Because like TonaI's saying in this ad, like I'm telling you guys, the commute is a huge part of it. The convenience, how crowded it is. It's all annoying. So if you have the type of home that can use TonaI, it's the way to go. Then you don't have to worry about driving to a gym, dealing with it being crowded, dealing with other people's sweat, waiting for weights, all this stuff that I just said. It's something I'm considering as someone who might not be getting TonaI, but is certainly concerned about all that comes with trying to go to the gym every day. So if you are able, if you have a home, unlike me, I think TonaI is the way to go to save a whole lot of time and make it convenient so that you actually get to your workout every single day. TonaI is the world's smartest and most effective strength training system that helps you get stronger. It's powered by powered by AI. TonaI learns with every rep, so it can deliver workouts personalized just for you. It learns from your movement and provides suggested weight recommendations for every move. With detailed progress reports, they can even create personalized programs and workout suggestions or recommendations based on your individual goals. So right now, TonaI is offering our listeners $200 off your TonaI purchase with promo code LOCKEDONMLB. That's TonaI.com and use promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off your purchase. That's TonaI.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for $200 off. Back here live one more time, Locked On Sports Los Angeles YouTube channel. This is the Locked On Angels Postcast. I'm Gavin Carlson. Angels lose in embarrassing fashion. Back-to-back home runs given up by Roansy Contreras to lead off the bottom of the ninth inning as the Blue Jays steal a 5-4 win from the Angels in what should have been an Angels win. It's time for Gavin's good, bad, and ugly. And the good is, of course, Jack Kochanowicz. He was very solid in this one. We already talked about that. But some other goods as well. Hunter Strickland did his job. Gets 2 outs. He did have a walk, but he got his 2 outs. Jose Quijada, he did his job. Just an out, a single out on a strikeout, but he did his job. Ben Joyce did his job. 1 inning, 1 hit, but also a strikeout. Would have loved to see him pitch the 9th inning. But outside of Roansy Contreras, every other pitcher for the Angels did their job tonight, which makes the Contreras mistakes so painful. So painful. But the rest of the pitching staff, you're all in the good. Who else is in the good? Well, we didn't even talk about it. The 4-run second inning, a couple guys contributed. Kevin Pillar starts off the inning with a hit by pitch. Then Tony Two-Bags is what everyone loves to call him, but us Angels fans don't know why, because he never does it for us. But he actually does here. A double from Anthony Rendon scores Pillar. O'Hoppe strikes out, which is a bummer. Nico Cavadas, it's a miracle. He got on base. First time he's stepped foot on a base. His only hit was a home run yesterday, but he gets a walk. He's standing on first base. Brandon Drury strikes out, but with Cavadas on second and 2 outs, Joe Adell, second and third, rips a double. He rips a double. It scores Rendon. It scores Cavadas. And Joe Adell, it was an impressive swing. It really was. A good long at-bat, 7-pitch at-bat. On 2-2, he has back-to-back foul balls. Then he takes a tough pitch on the outside corner for ball 3, and then on a full count, gets a cutter down and away. And how about this swing? Real impressive swing for him. He gets inside the baseball. It's on an outside pitch. Not a crazy hard swing. Pokes it to right field, but he doesn't poke it. He hits it well. 105.4 exit velo, 374 feet off the wall in right center field. Almost a 3-run home run, but a real impressive 2 RBI double. And then a miracle happens. Taylor Ward comes through with a runner in scoring position with a first pitch base hit, and it's just like that, 4-0. So a plenty of good in that inning. Taylor Ward ends up with 1 hit. Zach Neto ends up with 1. Not a single guy had 2 hits in this game, so no one's great in this game hitting-wise. But Ward, that RBI single. Joe Adell, the swing of the game, other than the Blue Jays, of course, the 2 RBI double off the wall. Chanuel has a hit. Pillar has a hit. Rendon had the RBI double. No one was great in this game. A couple people were good. Nico Cavadas still doesn't know how to get a base hit. He had 3 strikeouts. Concerning there, he did have the walk, but, not really showing us much still. A .056 average from him. Brandon Drury, I don't know why this guy still plays baseball. 0 for 3 again with the strikeout. He's hitting 157. Other than Roansy Contreras getting it ugly, I think Brandon Drury is the other ugly performance of this one. Bads would be, or I guess Logan O'Hoppe, unfortunately, is ugly as well. 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts. The bads, I'd say Cavadas, other than a walk, was pretty bad. Really, that's it. No one else was bad. O'Hoppe is an ugly. Drury's an ugly. And certainly Roansy Contreras is an ugly. I'd say bad is overall 11 strikeouts again for this team. So many strikeouts. And you end up only having 6 hits in this game. So that's probably a bad as well overall as a team that you don't get much done. With all that being said, we'll get to your comments before we wrap this one up. Not as a ton, just a lot of angry Angels fans, invalid. Jeff says, how do you have a 4-0 lead and blow it? Oh, it's the Angels. That's our Halos. Yep. Angels win. He's shocked like the rest of us. Wow. WTF happened. I know, right? Back-to-back home runs. Game over. I'm going to be sick. BC trolling about the Dodgers. We don't care, buddy, but thank you for being here. Angels win says, why was it Ben Joyce in the 9th instead of the 8th? Agree. We talked about it. Angels win also says, let Gavin cook. I'm here for it. Appreciate it. Daniel Barry, yo. Anthony Jimenez, what up? Fud Alex rightfully asking, why not Joyce in the 9th? Anthony Jimenez agrees. Or Angels win. agrees. But Alex says Contreras turned into Suarez. Certainly. Anthony Jimenez asked the question we're all thinking, are we going to get those 9 wins to stay away from a 100-loss season? It's a great question. We are now 25 losses away. You know we need 9 wins. The countdown is 9. But now it's only 25 losses. We have 33 games left. Got to go 9-22. Or 9-23. Am I doing the math right? I don't think so. 9-24. Excuse me. Got to go 9-24. Got to win 9 of your last 33 games. It's a little over 4th of your games, which means this is a 4-game series against the Blue Jays. Win one of those games. This could have been the one. Could have made it a lot easier. But nope, you lost. Now you've lost 2 in a row. And who knows? Who knows what's going to happen in the last 2 games of this series? Who knows what's going to happen in the rest of the year? Like Angels Win says, the only bright spot about losing is that we're in play for the number 1 pick and possibly drafting Ethan Holiday. That is true. Some talk about Liquid IV. Love it. Love to see it. That's hilarious. Both from Angels Win and Anaheim Angel. Fud Alex says with the new A's. Anthony Jimenez jokes that Adele's average is now up to 214. Yeah, he loves to get 1 hit. But I'll give him credit. They're big hits usually. And it's not just hitting hanging sliders anymore. He's actually hitting some difficult pitches, having some real at-bats. We'll give him a little bit of credit. Yeah. Last comment we'll talk about, Anthony Jimenez says, maybe that was Perry's first call to have Roansy pitch the 9th. First call after getting his new contract extension. I don't know. I already gave my thoughts yesterday about Perry getting the extension. I think it makes sense still. We'll see how much of it is because he listens to Artie Moreno and how much of it is because he actually has plans for the future. But honestly, I feel better knowing that we have a guy that at least seems like he can identify young talent in Shanuel, Neto, Ohapi, Ben Joyce, Jose Soriano, right? That at the end of the day is what this team is going to be about this year, next year, is making the right draft picks, identifying the right young talent in trades, all that. Hopefully the Christian Moore draft pick is as good as it looks like it is. If so, more credit to Perry Managian, because at the end of the day is after that 2-year extension, the question will be, did he accumulate enough young talent to where he deserves another extension and to where the Angels then can start going after some guys, some veterans to add to that young core to actually compete. But as of now, I think the extension still makes sense. He did the right thing in terms of acquiring young talent. Trade deadline, we won't get into that again. I still think that was mainly Artie Moreno, and I still think a big portion of the extension is Artie Moreno and how much Artie appears to like Perry. But I don't think he's undeserving. I don't think it's the bad decision. I think it's actually the right decision to bring Perry back and give him that extension. We'd rather have that than uncertainty about who's coming in and what direction we're going in. At least we know we have a guy who can identify young talent, who hopefully gets more freedom to acquire more young talent in the future. But with all that being said, we're going to wrap this one up. Angels lose 5-4. They blow a save in embarrassing, ridiculous fashion. Please enjoy your Friday night. Don't let this game affect it. I'm Gavin Carlson. Appreciate it. As always, join me back here tomorrow as the Angels will try to get their first win in this series against the Blue Jays. It's a day game, 12:07 first pitch, so I'll be live around 2:45, depending how long the game takes. And then, of course, Sunday at 10:30 a.m. first pitch, which means I'll be live around 1:15, depending on how long the game takes. But join me tomorrow afternoon and Sunday afternoon. Hopefully we can get a couple wins and avoid 100 losses on the season. As always, appreciate the support so much. Leave a like, leave a comment. And as always, even after a loss, go Angels. Have a great weekend. I'll hope to see you on Saturday and Sunday. Take care.